Happy Tuesday? What's happening, guys? Yes, it is Tuesday because, well, it was a holiday weekend. So hopefully you guys who are celebrating, we're good. Where's that? Come on, what are we doing here? There it is. Let's turn that down a little bit so it's not drowning me out. What is happening? Welcome to Film Junkie Live on your Tuesday, May 27th. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Hit that like, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, please. We got plenty of news to talk about. Holy Lord, we got plenty of stuff to talk about. Plenty of DCU news. We got some Spider-Man rumors and whatnot and some other MCU stuff. We got the box office report, really big box office that happened this weekend when it comes to 4th of July. And then, of course, we're going to be talking a little bit more about that Tom Cruise guy and Christopher McQuarrie. Christopher McQuarrie has been talking about some things, not just Tom Cruise projects, but talking about a certain pitch that he had that was Superman. So, good time. So, how we doing? Who's out there? Let's see who's out there. All right. We got Indiana Jake. Final Reckoning was good, but it was way too long. Man, yeah. I see how it was long for people. It flowed, though, pretty good, I will say. Great, we got Monique. Hello, all. Fantastic Tuesday to you. It's dry rubbed, oven baked baby back ribs. You and those ribs. Copycat KFC coleslaw and watermelon at Mikasa. We did Thai food yesterday, so we celebrated the Thai food for Memorial Day. That's cool. But I've never been a big coleslaw guy. I don't know. Coleslaw, and I used to work at KFC. That was my first job. And I think maybe I saw how it was made, so maybe that's why I don't really like it that much. I don't know. I just never been a big coleslaw guy, but everything else sounds awesome. That's for damn sure. Mr. Nobody, hello everyone. Hope everyone had a great Memorial Day weekend. Yeah. Ninja Gamer, y'all gotta learn what literally means before assuming others misused it. It is literally doing the same thing with soups. BVS got hate for political ramifications, incredible. Yes, but the literal part, if you're gonna use literally, I mean, literally is actually like it's exact, you know. So I was just making the fact that there's not a Batman. It's not literally a Batman versus Superman. That's what it's literally, yeah. Anyways, it's all right. You know, it's whatever. Yes, they are doing similar things. For some reason, there are people that wanted this movie to do the complete nothing like what Zack did. How dare James Gunn touch any themes that Zack did? He shouldn't have. I like the fact that he's doing that. I don't know, but I literally like the fact that he's doing that. Literally. I literally like it. So, thank you, Ninja Gamer. Let's see. What else we got? If you all are out here in oh, you live in Nevada. Okay. It's northern. That's where I want to move. I've said that many times. I wanted to move to, well, the Vegas area because I have family. I have family there. So, yeah. I want to get out of Cali. What's going on, D-Man 7? Good to see ya. Let's see what we got. We got hello, Mr. Versus Seed. Good to see you, buddy. We got Clone Adventure. Gun mention a big cameo in Peacemaker. I think Green Arrow or Booster Gold makes sense. My more random guesses are Wonder Woman, Aquaman, or possibly Lobo. Wouldn't that be interesting? Yeah, he did mention cameo when it came to that, and I could see that. I mean, obviously, you got to end Peacemaker in a certain way, but yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that. We have, there's some, you know, a lot of people are having theories. I think Booster Gold almost feels like that is going to be the case, especially if it's what's his name, which I don't really like that casting, but hey, I'm not going to like all the casting when it comes to the DCU. So what's going on, Evol? And we got JD McRae. What is happening? Game City Savior. CD's Dark Legion mobile game sucks. You know, I actually, there was a game I was playing too that I'm not really enjoying as well, but yeah. Let's see, we also got Music Man right here. Yep, I mean, I'll talk about my weekend in a little bit here. Superman versus the Elite. There's something. Okay, what else? Who else we got here? We got Shane O. What's happening? Good to see ya. We got Mr. Gonzalez. 09. We got Tim Diaz, what's happening? We got Lane, what's going on? And then, of course, we got Mr. Axel Droga. Good to see you guys. And like I said, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Become a member. Like I said, there might not be a stream tomorrow because I'm doing a stream right now. If there's stuff to talk about tomorrow, I'll do a stream tomorrow. But, you know, we'll play it by ear, just depending on the news. Really just depending on the news. Because we got plenty to talk about tonight. But if there's not really much much news that comes out tomorrow, I'll probably not have a stream. But I mean, the only thing that I would really be talking about is the Karate Kid Legends reviews. I think the embargo will lift by then. That would be the only thing that I would be talking about tomorrow as of right now. Obviously, you can find other things too, but you know, if something comes about that is worth talking about, then I'll definitely have a stream tomorrow. But if there's not, I'll let you guys know, and won't have a stream tomorrow, but we'll still have the DC Fanimated stream, of course, with Scott and and we'll actually be talking about an episode of I think Superman. We're talking Superman tomorrow. So, anyways, all right, guys. Hopefully, you guys had a good weekend. Like I said, anybody in the States, of course, we had Memorial Day weekend. And, you know, at first I was going, I could have a stream. I could have a stream on Monday, but then I was like, nah. The weekend I had, Jesus Christ, guys. I ate so much food this weekend. Holy Lord, I ate so much food this weekend. And got to hang out with a bunch of friends, which is great. So Saturday was my friend Molly's birthday. And she wanted to go out and get some dinner. And so we went to this one place called Rock Burgers and Brews or whatever, this new spot. That's a really cool place. It's like they have live music. They have, obviously it's a burger joint, and all their drinks and their beers are like based off of like iconic music names, which was pretty cool. The only thing I hate, one thing that chaps my ass when it comes to gourmet burger places is they always... You're looking at a burger, and you're looking at what comes on the burger, and you're going, oh, that sounds good, that sounds good, that sounds good. And then all of a sudden they add something that you go, why are you putting that on a burger? Seriously. You ever had that where you go, why is that? They always have to add some kind of craziness. And the burger I got... They have a raspberry fig sauce that is supposed to be added to the burger. And I went, huh? Why am I going to have a raspberry fig sauce added to this burger? But I get it. These chefs that create this stuff, you combine some savory and sweet things. And apparently it's supposed to be, oh, it's so good. I wasn't really having it. I'm not the biggest raspberry fan. I got it on the side. I tried a little bit, dipped my finger. I'm like, no, I'm not putting that on my burger. What are we doing? No. My burger was fine without the raspberry fig sauce. It's like, geez. But I get it. There's these chefs who are doing this stuff, but I'm like, no, just let's keep it simple. Let's keep it a little simple. I was looking at some of the other burgers too. I'm like going, what is that? Why are you putting that on there? But hey. Yeah, see, I've heard about that, Monique. Peanut butter on cheeseburgers. I mean, and I've heard peanut butter pizza. I have yet to pull the trigger on that one, but it's pretty interesting. So we did that. Of course, went there, had a couple of beers, and then we go back to her house, and we're all hanging out and doing the thing. She has a 2.5-year-old daughter, and I scored points with the daughter with like being impressed. You know how they're very like, you do something with with these little ones where they just go like, oh my God, I've never seen that before. That's amazing. And then laughing at it and stuff like that. They got her like this little drum kit, this little like little pad things. They're kind of trying to teach her to do some drumming stuff. And if you guys know, I've done some drumming. I know how to play drums, or I'm coordinated to play drums. I don't know how to play the drums all that well, but I can play the drums. So of course I was kind of showing her some of that, and I was doing the twirl, the drumstick twirl and everything like that. She was so amazed by that. You gotta love that when the little 2-year-olds or 3-year-olds are just like, you do something that they've never seen. They just are like in awe, like, you are showing me magic. So that was pretty fun. And so that was Saturday. And then Sunday, I meet up with one of my best friends. You ever been to the town I grew up in, which is, about half an hour that way? They have one of those marketplaces kind of places where it's like an entire building, and you have like all these different restaurants in there, like different foods. Like you have your sushis, your burgers, your chicken, all pizza, all the stuff. It's like a mall. It's just like a mall of restaurants, and of course there's bars as well. So we met up right there, and geez. So I got myself a delicious spicy chicken sandwich with a side of mac and cheese that also had some spice on it too. It was delicious, amazing. And then of course, we're shooting the shit and just chilling, drinking beers, and then we meet up with another buddy of mine at this other place because he wanted to watch the Mets-Dodgers game. He is a Mets fan, so we meet up with him and we watch the game, which of course the Dodgers lost. Sorry, Dodger fans. Any Dodger fans out there? But so yeah, we met there, and pretty crazy thing happened too, guys. Never really happens. And when it does, it's always surreal and weird. I got recognized. At this bar. I got recognized. Somebody who is a bartender in this downtown area in the town I grew up in the town I used to spend a lot of time downtown in my in my 20s and 30s. But yeah, I was sitting there, and one of the bartenders of this bar, he like walks up to me, and goes, "Hey, somebody who's also a bartender at another place, he told me that he goes, I think that guy makes YouTube videos." I'm like, "Yeah, I do." So I guess the guy was like, "Oh yeah," he wasn't sure if it was me or something like that. And then he eventually came up and shook my hand, and we talked for a little bit. So that was kind of cool. I was like, "Oh wow, I got recognized." Jeez. I know, it's so weird when that happens. I'm like, "Hey, whoa." He's like, "Yeah, man, I like your videos," and blah, blah, blah. And it was cool, It's always nice when that happens in real life. But yeah, it's a rarity. But when it does, yeah, it's like, it's surreal. It's very surreal. I mean, obviously, when I've gone to like Zack Snyder events, people are recognizing me like crazy. And, that could be a little, that's weird too. But I mean, it's obviously going to happen at a Zack Snyder event, sure. But when it just happens randomly, it's very interesting. But yeah, nice dude. He's a bartender, and I forgot what his name was. Daniel, I think. But anyways, I think he actually messaged me. But he's like a bartender. I should probably follow him because he probably does some. He makes some good drinks. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. No, we didn't do the autograph thing. The autograph or any kind of selfie or something like that. We just talked for a little bit. Talk for a tiny bit, so that was fun. So yeah, so we do that, and then of course we kind of roam around the downtown area. Of course, we're getting lit up, and then we end up back. Me and my buddy Chris, we end up back at that marketplace, and we end up getting grilled cheese sausage sandwiches. There's like a sausage restaurant in there that made grilled cheese sausage. Oh God, it was so freaking good. It was amazing, and obviously, we're pretty lit up. We're pretty, we're pretty tipsy, so it's tasting obviously amazing. So I had the chicken sandwich and mac and cheese, and then a grilled cheese sausage sandwich. Then we end up back at his place, and what I've talked about my buddy Chris before. We always end up back at his place anytime that we hang out, and we just listen to music until the wee hours of the night, sipping whiskey, and that's exactly what we did. We probably didn't go to bed till almost 2:00 and just sipping whiskey, and then of course. The next day we wake up, we're a little slow getting up, obviously, because it was a long day. And then we get breakfast burritos from this taco place that is really awesome. So breakfast burrito. And then the Giants game was on early, so we were watching the Giants game. And then I came home, and I thought about doing a stream yesterday, but I was like, you know what? I'm still in weekend mode. I want to edit some videos and some clips that I didn't get to this weekend. So that's why it's a Tuesday Film Junkie Live. So gotta love it. So anyways, Dan the bartender. Yeah, I think that's what his name was. I have to double check that because I think he messaged me. I think I got a message from him on Instagram or something like that. Anyways, we got Dan who likes cats, the Dan Cats guys. I know, right? Free drinks for life. I know. Wherever that guy's bartending, I might get a complimentary drink on the house because I'm pretty sure that he has I saw the message, but I was so busy yesterday that Anyways, guys, subscribe to the channel. Hit that like thumbs up. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. And, just caught up on things. Watched Mission Impossible Fallout last night, of course. Still doing the rewatch of Mission Impossible. Watched Rogue Nation. And And then, of course, yeah, and I'll talk about my ranking. I actually posted my ranking on Letterboxd. Again, follow me on Letterboxd. I did post my ranking, and I was like, you know what? And I got some heat for it, and you probably know why I got some heat for my Mission Impossible ranking, because you know I love me that Mission Impossible 2 John Woo magic, and a lot of people don't. And I'm like, yeah, that's right, okay. You have a small cucumber? What the hell? Dan is a weird guy, but hey, that's all good. Let's get to the tweets. Let's get to the tweets, guys, and see what is happening. Speaking of Mission Impossible, I love this behind-the-scenes image right here from the first Mission Impossible that Cinephilia and Beyond posted right here. So there we got that shot right there. We got this shot of Tom Cruise in the infamous, the iconic scene that is the CIA vaults, the Langley vaults, where he's hanging upside down. And man, I tell you, from what I gather, how they, how this scene came together is just absolutely insane. And it's such a good scene, so much tension. 29 years ago, Mission Impossible hit theaters, and Brian De Palma turned a spy thriller into a cinematic symphony of tension, precision, and visual storytelling. That's why I love that first movie, man. I mean, I've watched that first movie so many times. I'm pretty sure I know I've watched the first Mission Impossible movie more than all the other Mission Impossibles. All of them. What's going on, Arkham Knight 99? Good to see you, bud. Good to see you. Okay. And then, yes, guys, I want to emphasize this as well. If you guys watched DC Fanimated last Wednesday, we had Ernie Altbacker on, who has written many DCAU movies. He's been part of that kind of world, that world of the DCAU, or at least animated universe, And Scott got contacted by him, and we had him on DC Fanimated. We didn't talk about an episode of any of the what we've been talking about, like Superman or Batman Beyond. We talked to him for over 2 hours, and I'm hoping to have Ernie on the vodka stream, because Ernie, who is awesome, he has a Kickstarter for a new little project, a comic book that we actually obviously talked about too, and this is right up my alley. And you guys, like I said, I could provide the link. I could provide the link right here. Go ahead and just send it right there if you guys want to check it out, get notified or whatever, maybe show some support. But this is the Kickstarter right here. It's called Area 51 Studios. It's essentially a studio where, that makes propaganda and makes, the stuff that we see, but it's aliens that are doing it. And I don't know, just sounds right up my alley, because I'm all about that stuff. So yeah, that's Ernie Altbacker's his Kickstarter right there. And so if you guys want to support it, or at least get notified when it's supposed to launch, it's supposed to launch next week. So I'm hoping to have him back on the channel, but it'll be the vodka stream this time. We'll get him back on. Really nice dude. If you guys haven't watched that discussion with Scott and I and him on last week's DC Fanimated, check it out. Dude's awesome. Dude, it was a great conversation. Absolute great conversation. So check it out. At least, get notified. I mean, it's only going to be, it's like a 4-part book that he's trying to do, and he just wants to get it out there. And it sounds like a fun story, that's for damn sure. And then this happened. I mean, obviously we're going to talk about some MCU news, but this happened while, I don't know, things. When did this come to be? I think this was the day. When was this? Oh yeah. So yeah, like Thursday Twitter was a mess. Thursday Twitter was an absolute mess, where it felt like the algorithm was not working. The DMs were not working. The DMs were down for a bit. It seemed like a lot. It was quiet, which was kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of nice that Twitter was a little quiet. But I didn't see this news until, I don't know. I think it was probably late. It was probably I think it was late Thursday. But I did not get this news until then. I didn't see it early on, and it was out there for a bit. But yes, Avengers Doomsday delayed, and they push it to December of 2026, and Secret Wars is going to be December of 2027. Huh? Avengers movies coming out in December. Yeah, we talked about it on the Vodka stream a little bit, but it was just like, it's kind of interesting. So now the next two Avengers movies are not going to be summer blockbuster movies. No, they're taking that December slots, which obviously, if you look at the dates that they pushed Avengers Doomsday, that is the date of Dune Messiah. That's right, guys. Dune Messiah and Avengers Doomsday are right now supposed to come out on the same date. So are we going to get an Avengers Doomsday? That's what everybody's starting to call it already, but there is no fucking way that they are going to remain on the same date. It would be interesting if it does, but I highly doubt that they will keep Dune at least there. I think Dune, as popular as it's gotten, the first two movies have done well, but they have not done as well as Avengers movies. So if anybody's going to move, Dune will. And I mean, Dune Part 2, last year it showed up at the beginning of the year. It wasn't in like a February or March release date, so they'll probably push it a couple of months. Gonna be interesting though. Who folds? Who folds? It's not gonna be a Doomsday. I know, it's like Avengers Doomsday. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. But hey, we got some art. We got some art right here. I love art. You guys know I love art. We got some Bruce Timm style art for the new Superman movie that Claudio Nunes, he designed right here. So he basically took the designs and, of course, Krypto and Superman and made it look like Bruce Timm's art. And it's pretty cool. So there you go. So obviously Bruce Timm and the way that his universe looks, obviously it's the big shoulders, it's the wide shoulders and the big arms and the big chest that sticks out. So there's Superman and Krypto right there. There's Krypto up close, smiling at Superman, and then there's Superman right there. Why is he not smiling? Why is Superman not smiling? God damn it. Can we get Superman to smile? Jeez. Superman hasn't smiled since 2013, apparently. Jeez. Nah, that's cool. I like that. Love me the Bruce Timm art. Love me the Bruce Timm art. Michael Jackson, the Michael Jackson biopic. I'll be surprised if this movie actually comes out. This is hold on. This is Barry. Who's making this? No, it's not Barry Jenkins. Come on. Let's see. Who's making this movie again? I totally forgot. Who's directing this movie? Yeah, I got to find the actual article, not the source article. Oh, yeah. Antoine Fuqua. That's right. It's Antoine Fuqua who's directing Antoine Fuqua's movie right here. And, well, there's going to be additional photography. We already heard not too long ago that apparently, like, when it came to making this movie, they were not supposed to touch on certain things when it came to Michael Jackson. So things got delayed already. And we have this article right here. Michael Jackson biopic moonwalking to 22 days of additional photography in June. That's right. So there's that whole aspect of it. And then the fact that they're actually going to be splitting the movie in two, which is probably a smart thing to do because it's Michael fucking Jackson. Okay? You can't just fit an entire movie into, one 2 hour and 20 minute, 2.5 hour movie. You're going to need a lot more than that. The dude's had quite a life from his childhood all the way to the day he passed away. So you're going to need a lot. But it's just seems like there's a lot of things that are happening. The King of Pop's estate and studio partners Mole splitting the movie into two parts. And apparently the first part would be him officially leaving the Jackson 5. So apparently there's a big, huge chunk of the movie that has to do with the childhood of Michael Jackson. If they're thinking about splitting it when he finally goes off on his own, that's the late 70s where he goes off on his own, right? That's where he had his first album. I don't know, it's going to be interesting. It just seems like this movie has definitely been not easy. Not easy to get out there. I mean, of course it wasn't going to be easy. It's Michael Jackson. It's Michael Jackson. What else we got? But in two parts of MJ. And Donald T right here loves He loves Billie Eilish, apparently. Billie Eilish. Okay, what else do we have? No, we don't need to show that. I already talked about that. Oh, hey. You know, we are going to talk a little bit about Henry Cavill, but we must remember that Henry Cavill... Whoa, I said that wrong. We must remember that Henry Cavill, he's in a movie that's going to be coming out. That's part of it. Well, that is a popular brand. It's a franchise. And how we got this... There's nothing... It must have been shot entirely on sound stages, in which I guess that makes sense. But yeah, the live-action Voltron movie starring Henry Cavill has officially wrapped. What? A lot of people are going, I didn't even know that thing was actually filming. I'm like, yeah, I heard it was filming, but I had no idea that, like, oh yeah, they were coming close to like finishing. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. But there has been like literally nothing. There's not been any teases. Nobody's posted a picture. Apparently, yeah, like again, there's probably nothing that was happening outside, but it's a popular franchise. I'm just kind of, I'm intrigued. I never got into Voltron, but I know like the Power Rangers kind of ripped off a little Voltron stuff. But I'm curious, and I like Cavill, obviously, so I'm curious to see where this goes. But I know it's supposed to be more kids that are like handling the robots, right? I'm not sure exactly who he's playing or whatever, but yeah, it wrapped. That's what I'm kind of wondering too, D-Man. I'm wondering if it's going to be just streaming or they're actually going to release in theaters. It's always a weird thing nowadays. Like, are they going to actually do a theatrical run? I guess we'll find out. Michael Bay. All right, Michael Bay might be pulling a fast one on us, or he's exposing the clickbait, stupid fucking movie media shit. Michael Bay. The last time we heard about Michael Bay is that he is definitely going to be directing a movie based on Skibidi Toilets. Skibidi Toilets, and I talked about it when it's supposedly last week it was supposed to be going in production. But it was just seemed so weird, like Skibidi Toilet. All right, interesting. So Michael Bay decided to take to social media and clarify that he is not, in fact, making a Skibidi Toilet movie.
You know how Mom and Dad always told you don't believe everything you read, like on the internet? I went on the internet last night and they were just talking about me directing something. I know what I'm directing, but it's not the thing that they keep talking about. That's a movie. These are a whole bunch of movies right now. One is in serious prep, one's in soft prep, one I'm writing, one I'm getting ready to produce, or two produce. So if there's not one in that little pile, it says Skibidi. So let's just stop the lore right now, okay? You're hearing it from me. You know.
You heard it from him. He's not doing Skibidi Toilet. I don't know what the hell's going on, because there were screenshots that were showing that he's going to be doing something with this movie. Who knows what the hell's going on with this? And I don't know. It's all just, he might be pulling a fast one. It almost seems like he is. Or, I don't know. Why would he take the time to like make that video and kind of show like, oh yeah, I got, look at all this right here. I mean, I think he just maybe using it as an opportunity to be like, I got a lot of shit that's going to be coming down, you know, for the next 5 years, you're going to be seeing Michael Bay's name either producing or directing or writing. So, who knows, man? Yeah, it's going to be Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan's going to be directing Skibidi Toilet, which I still have no freaking clue what exactly that is, so... Oh man, that was funny. That was just funny to see that. It was just funny to see that. It was also great to see this too. We got Zack Snyder. The GOAT. That is Zack Snyder, who took a selfie. Well, not a selfie, but he took a picture with another GOAT, and I'm sure you guys saw this. That's right. He took a picture with Jim Lee. That's right. The DC genius. That is Jim Lee. Look at those two right there. Smiling together. Having a good time. Makes me wonder what kind of conversations they had. Huh? Didn't we just talk about it? I just posted the video from talking about it last week. about how Scott Snyder wanted to do some Snyderverse comic books. Now we got the CCO right there of Jim Lee taking a picture, spending some time. Now it could mean nothing. Could mean absolutely nothing. Most likely is absolutely nothing. But Zack has expressed that he has pitched Snyderverse comic books. He has said he pitched. He said it on my stream. I'm probably going to have to dig it up somewhere that he did pitch Snyderverse books to DC and they turned him down. But I'm kind of wondering now that we're further along, maybe Jim Lee would be like, yeah, we could do some Snyderverse books. Maybe some comic books, whether showing the sequels, which I know, and I saw, and when I talked about it, people, of course, went crazy and said, no, they got to be live action because these spoiled little brats need their live act. They want Zack and everybody to just stop what they're doing and make 2 big, giant Justice League sequels for, obviously it would take Zack about at least 3 years. Take a break from your passion project, Zack. You got to come back and do this. I'm just saying, why can't we have both? Why can't we start with comic book and then maybe if it's popular enough or something like that, maybe they could fit it in where maybe something could happen. I don't know. It is kind of interesting. So I don't know. I'm not assuming anything. I'm not saying anything. It just would be pretty cool because they did Superman 78. They did Batman 89. Why not do some Snyderverse comic books too? This doesn't affect the DCU. And there are people that do lose their minds when it comes to that side too. I had to call out somebody that, Jesus Christ, it's like, hey, this is just a comic book. This is not going to affect anything. Just like the Superman 78 or Batman 89, that didn't affect anything either. It's just a run of books that maybe, hey, we can get some other stories of these certain iterations of the characters that we love so much. There's nothing wrong with that. But what's funny is let's face it, Zack posted this right here. He didn't post the James Gunn one. Hey, you have to post. Yeah, you have to poke fun at that because a lot of people, of course, were pointing that out. Like, hey, he didn't post that James Gunn, picture. Only James Gunn posted that. Zack didn't. And I'm like, yeah, he probably doesn't like James Gunn as much as Jim Lee. I think we can all agree with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Yes, they have respect, but hey, he probably didn't want to get caught up in that madness that is currently happening, of course, when it comes to, James Gunn and everything like that. He didn't want to get caught up in that madness and post a picture too or retweet it or something like that. He probably didn't want to, let's stay away from that. I'm not going to post that kind of stuff, but I'd say, it is kind of funny though, because I was kind of wondering, I'm like, is Zack going to post that image of him and James Gunn? He did not, but he posted this, so did Jim Lee. So maybe they were just like, hey, that fucking James Gunn guy, right? Nah. Like I said, it's all stupid fandom stuff. We can make fun of it. I make fun of it. But at the same time, my main thing was like, hey, we had the Scott Snyder thing. We heard about that. And now, we see this. I'm just going like, hey, man, Zack loves DC. And it would still be cool if Zack was doing something DC. I don't know what it could be. But if it's a book, it's a book. And I know Zack loves comic books, so there's nothing wrong with having Snyderverse stories. They don't even have to be the sequels that were intended. They could just be backstories. You can have a Batman backstory. You can have another story with Henry Cavill Superman that was in between Man of Steel and BVS. You can have a Lois Lane story. But of course, naturally, Scott Snyder and him are going to be talking about a Darkseid and Apocalypse kind of backstory in that world. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Especially when the people that push back against that, like as if that's going to affect the DCU. And I just go, shut the fuck up. It's not going to affect any of that. Okay? It's just going to be more DC content. There's nothing wrong. And then you got the other people that go, we've seen Superman in the Justice League versus Darkseid in the comic books before. I need to see it in live action. I'm like, okay, that's not up to you. Okay? That's not up to you. Relax. It's fine. All right. Had to get that out there. Oh, did you guys see this too? Okay, so Madam Web, this is random popcorn buckets. Another popcorn bucket kind of situation when it comes to Madam Web. Apparently there was a Madam Web popcorn bucket that was designed and created, but they scrapped it. They ended up scrapping it because this did not show up everywhere, but it was very interesting because if you look at this one, there's some interesting stuff on there. There's Daily Bugle newspapers on it that are showing some certain things. You see right there? That's Drax. That is Drax right there. That's right. Guardians of the Galaxy, Drax. What? Why is he wearing a suit? Is he a politician? Supervillains, web, all that stuff. And basically talking about that. There's like other little things on there too. It references Doc Ock also. It references Doc Ock. Like, what is going on with that? Were they just really just going, hey, we're just going to design this thing, but they didn't get approval for Marvel Studios to actually include that? And then they're like, no, you can't include Doc Ock? Who knows? Sony and Marvel Studios, when it comes to the Spider-Man universe, it's such a weird thing. It's such a weird thing, but I'm just going to, Madam Web could have been something actually pretty damn magical, but Sony did the Sony thing, and they fucked it up. They absolutely fucked it up and ended up being one of the worst CBMs that they ever made. My God, it was. These movie theaters are taking things way too seriously, all right? These interactive movie theaters that shake your chairs or, push out some fog or some fucking smell-o-vision kind of stuff. They're taking it too far. This is taking it too far right here, okay? This is from Argentina, okay? Did you guys see this? This has to do with Final Destination Bloodlines. A woman in Argentina was injured after a piece of the movie theater roof fell on her during the screening of Final Destination Bloodlines. The piece managed to not hit her in the head as she was slightly titled on the armrest. I don't know, titled? That's taking it a little too seriously there, theaters. All right? You're trying to kill people with random accidents while they're watching a movie about people getting killed by random accidents. Jeez. It would be kind of funny, though, if it was just like some kind of light styrofoam that's just like, oh my God. And it was just, it was fake. It wasn't going to hurt or anything like that. But yeah, that's pretty scary. That's pretty scary. You're sitting in a movie theater and you're watching a movie where people are getting offed by random things. And then all of a sudden a piece of the roof falls down and almost hits you in the head. Whew. That's really scary. I would never go to a movie theater again after that. Never. Especially that. Holy Lord. Well, we fucked up. I could be part of the blame with this too because I did talk about it. I did talk about it on the stream and I, cut it out into its own separate video and clip because I thought, well, yeah, we want to see this and this has to do with the Schumacher cut. Remember how I told you guys last week? I think it was last week. It might have been even like the week before. I don't remember when it was. But in LA that they were actually going to be screening the Schumacher cut. And I showed you guys the image and showed you that, yes, they are in fact playing the Schumacher cut. And this was actually going to be in 2 days. 2 days on May 19th. Well, that ain't happening anymore. The May 29th LA screening of Batman Forever, the Schumacher Cut, has been canceled. A rep from Cinephile Video confirmed they were served with a cease and desist from Warner Brothers. Oh. That's ridiculous. I get the business side of it, though, because, yes, they were screening something that wasn't authorized. Obviously, Warner Brothers owns the movie. That's right. Warner Brothers does. I love it how people blame James Gunn for no Schumacher Cut. He has literally no control over the Schumacher Cut. Let's just get that out there. I know I've seen that people go, yeah, he canceled the Schumacher Cut. He doesn't want the Schumacher Cut. He has no control of the Schumacher Cut. That's a Warner Brothers film. Just like he has no control of the Ayer Cut. Those are all Warner Brothers films. He only controls shit that's under DC Studios. They have that on it. That's all he controls. So I understand that, yes, that is a thing because they didn't authorize it. And apparently, like when it came to Kevin Smith doing it, apparently it didn't go around enough where he didn't get that cease and desist. I don't know. But we were all talking about it. It got out there. It got all over social media and everything like that. They caught wind of it and they canceled it. And I'm just kind of going like, all right, well then, can you just release it? It's the 30th anniversary. Can you just release it? I mean, I get it. There still needs, they got to restore the footage and do all this stuff. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen, sadly. It just seems like it's not. Even though it's like, it would be kind of cool because, you know, Schumacher has passed away. We just lost Val Kilmer. It's the 30th anniversary. It would be kind of cool to get it. I want to see it, even though I love Batman Forever. The theatrical, the version we have now, I really enjoy. I really enjoy that version. But I would actually like to see what Schumacher was really trying to do at first. Fucking Warner Brothers, right? Jeez. But yeah, so, yeah, apparently it's just, because it got all over the place, so they caught wind of it. They caught wind of it. What else we got? What else we got? Don't do this! This is going to lead into something. Why are we doing this to you? What? If you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys saw this, and you probably saw this even if you're just on Twitter. And, of course, with the whole Phantom Wars thing, and, of course, we're going to be talking about more things when it comes to this. But don't do this to yourself. Don't do this to yourself, okay? Why even do this? Why even run a poll on Twitter? I don't know if you guys saw this, but, you know, the Batfleck movie Twitter accounts, which, you know, if you've... they blocked me, by the way. I think it's just one guy. It has to be. And, I don't know, whoever's running that is a little unhinged. It's got a little... You could tell there's a little bit of... things that are going on behind that keyboard that maybe you should probably log off for a little bit. I don't even know what the end game is. Apparently, they're just going to keep on fighting for Ben Affleck because Ben Affleck wants to get that Batfleck movie, and he's clamoring for it. He's pushing for it, and you know he needs a fan account to help him get the Batfleck movie. But it was just kind of funny because they ran a poll. And obviously, they're very biased. They want Superman to crash and burn. So they ran this poll. And I just go, why do you do this to yourself? Because all you're going to do is just invite the people that want to push against you to vote against you. And polls mean absolutely nothing. But this is what happened. And it was pretty funny because, like I said, they don't like me. I don't like them. It's perfectly fine. So I can laugh. And I can laugh at this result right here. But yeah, I mean, it actually ended up, the whole thing ended up at 66%. This was just early on. But when the whole thing wrapped up, which it had like 6, 7, 9,000 votes on it, yeah, Superman won at like 66%. This was just at the point yesterday. And of course they put Man of Steel in there because, you know, people are just going, oh yeah, you know what I'm going to do on July 11th? I'm going to stay home and watch Man of Steel. Sweet, you're still watching a Warner Brothers movie. Do they realize that? Boycott Warner Brothers. Keep my wallet closed. I'm like, yeah, well, you already opened your wallet to Warner Brothers. They already got your money, and you're going to stay home and watch Man of Steel. I'm like, yeah, it's still a Warner Brothers movie. Just saying. Do you guys not think like that? I mean, I don't know. It's so funny. But it was just, that made me laugh. And then what did they do? What did they do after that? Oh, the fucking bots. The bots came out. Oh my God, the bots. When in doubt, say it's bots. That's all you could do. That is the fucking chicken shit, piece of shit way out to just like, oh, that's why that happened. You know another time that I remember that people were claiming bots? The Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut hashtag. Remember that? Batfleck movie? Do you remember that? Remember when they were claiming that the reason why the Snyder Cut came out? Because Snyder bots. Now you're going to use that same excuse? Okay. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, come on, guys. What are you doing? Just let people be excited for Superman. Nothing wrong with that. You're just inviting people that hate you to come in there and do that very thing. It's just pretty funny. It was AI. It was AI. So this is absolutely hilarious right here. I got to share this with you because I saw this and I was like, you know what? I like this bunny rabbit right here. There's a picture of a bunny. So here's the context. A bunny in China allegedly snuck into a grape fermenting pit. Obviously, when they're doing that, they're making wine. And he got very drunk. And I'm going, me and this bunny would be friends. Look at this bunny right here. He's like in the hole right there, just snacking on those fermented grapes, living the best life. He don't give a shit. He's just nom 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 nom. My man. That's adorable. Hopefully he didn't get too wasted. I mean, Jesus, he's a little dude. But yeah, you fermenting those grapes, you got some little alcohol going on there. So that was absolutely adorable. That was like some cool ASMR stuff right there. Nom, 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 nom. Oh yeah, apparently the American Movie Awards were yesterday. Did anybody give a shit about that? Anything that has to do with the music industry, I just go, oh, I already know I'm going to see clips online and they're going to be horrible because, I don't know. To me, like, yeah, I get it that Hollywood and everything that has to do with Hollywood, whether, music and movies, yeah, people involved, they're a little weird. Everybody's weird. Everybody's trying to crave attention and doing all this kind of stuff. But when it comes to the music industry, to me, it's just they go up a notch. You see some of these performances and you go, what the fucking Satanist shit is this? Like, you see some stuff and you go, what is going on? I'm seeing like pyramids and I can go down some rabbit holes with all the conspiracy theory stuff and all the meanings behind some of this symbolism that's happening in the music industry. Well, we got J-Lo right here. She wanted to have her own little P. Diddy freak off on stage. I don't know if you guys saw this. Just a brief little clip. She just started making out with all her dancers. Yeah. All right. So that's her thing. Yeah, that's what J-Lo did last night. She was having her own little freak off where she just decided, oh yeah, let me just make out with all my backup dancers. I'm like, all right, cool. Meanwhile, Ben Affleck is somewhere going, Jesus Christ, I got out of that one pretty good. Yeah, good job, Ben. You got out of that one, please. He probably knew. He was like, oh yeah, I need to get away from this. This is, I mean, I'm sure like it was all hot and heavy at first and it was like, oh my God, she's amazing. And then all of a sudden he realized, I think when the honeymoon phase ended and he realized, oh my God, I'm with a big ass diva who's not that talented, who was with P. Diddy, who's probably going to get thrown under the bus when it comes to the whole P. Diddy thing. I need to get out of this fucking relationship. And and I'm sure that, again, I'm not saying that Ben Affleck's perfect. Oh, he has his demons too. Let's not forget that. He's not a perfect dude. He's got issues too. We know this. But I'm just saying, from his perspective, Jesus Christ, can you imagine just seeing that? Ugh. The music industry is just, I tell you. And we got a new, I don't even know if I should show this because I don't even know if this is it out there? Probably. I don't know. But we got a new Fantastic Four TV spot that's showing some more
exclusive look at the Fantastic
of the Fantastic Four.
Wow, folks, we all know the story.
But we have, it's not much new. God, Vanessa Kirby is so goddamn beautiful. Anyways, sorry. They're just showing clips we already saw. We've already seen. Already seen some of that. There's like literally one new clip that we see here that we have not seen before.
Are you the protectors of this world?
We saw this already. We saw that.
The planet is now marked for death.
See that.
I don't know.
That right there. This right here. That is the only new shot. That shot right there is the only thing that we have not seen, which is a very good looking shot. I think that's Herbie flying up the ship right here. This tells me that this is probably towards the end before they maybe like leave. I don't know, or maybe it's before that.
We will face this
But
together.
other than that, there's really not, I mean, I guess maybe a couple other longer shots.
We will protect you.
So yeah, that was like the only new shot from it, but it's a cool shot. I'll give it that. Then here we go, guys. Here we go. Took me a little bit, but I think I had to watch I had to watch Fallout, which I knew. I was like, why am I mean, of course, I just wanted to watch Fallout because it's so goddamn good. I already knew that. I mean, Fallout's one of the best ones. But here's my Mission Impossible ranking right here. Okay? There it is. Starting off with the first one because the first one is my favorite. I've watched it so many times. I fell in love with that movie back in 1996 and 97. I watched it like crazy. I had the VHS. I had the DVD. I was obsessed with the movie. And number 2 is Fallout. Number 3, your eyes do not deceive you. Yes, Mission Impossible 2. I don't care. I don't care. I love that movie. I watched that movie so many times too. And currently, right now, this list could change because sometimes you feel a little different. But as of right now, and I think maybe because I'm just kind of pushing back on these people. But, and then of course you have Rogue Nation, Protocol, and then I put Final Reckoning at number 6. And I know some people were, and I think, let's see, Music Man's even saying that, why is Mission Impossible 3 so low? Again, okay, so we have Mission Impossible 3, and then of course we have Dead Reckoning last. Again, this is not like, oh, fuck, I can't stand Dead Reckoning. I can't stand Mission. No, all the movies are good. This is a very difficult list to make. This is why it took me a bit. Because I love all the movies. Okay, maybe I don't love all of them, but there's not a bad movie. There's not a like, oh God, that was terrible. They're all very watchable. I could spend an entire day and watch all these movies and be satisfied. There's not one where I go, oh, I gotta watch that one now. No. The reason why Mission Impossible 3 is just that low, it's just because, I don't know, there's just, I don't know why, it's good. I enjoy it. I love the fact that they changed it up again and J.J. Abrams came in. Arguably one of the best running sequences that we've seen in a Mission Impossible. And there's like good shit in there, but I don't know. Maybe it's just something about the story where I didn't gravitate towards that as much. I don't know. That could be it. And then I think Dead Reckoning was just too much things were happening. Final Reckoning, too much things were happening too. But at the same time, I really enjoyed, the callbacks, most of them. So, but yeah, that's how I'm kind of feeling right now. Again, it could change. At any time. It really can. So that's my ranking currently right now. That's how it is, man. That's how it is. And I'm sure you guys saw this too. We have a DC and Marvel crossover. That's right. It's been a bit. The first DC Marvel crossover of 2025. I guess it hasn't been a bit. It's the first one of 2025. It's a one-shot. And yeah, we got these characters that are meeting. And then, of course, you can get your first issue on September 17th. And I'm going to have to get myself this issue because it is Deadpool and Batman. What? Deadpool and Batman? You don't say. 2 of my favorite superhero characters. What are we doing here? I love it. All right. I am curious. You have my attention, DC and Marvel. I love the fact that there's a batarang sticking out of Deadpool's head right there. Even right here, he's got some batarangs sticking out of himself. Okay. I will be purchasing this little series right here. 100% purchasing that. Hell yeah. Oh, man. Let's see. Hey, Shamagic, what's going on? Thank you for the $5 super chat, my friend. You are awesome. Much appreciated, sir. Sure, helping out that pirate ship. Good to see you. Good to see you. Keep seeing your videos, of course. Follow Shamagic. He's on Instagram. I follow him on Instagram and see his up close magic, his card tricks and everything like that. So great to see you, bud. Yep, we got Dead Bat. Dell, you're late. It's all good, man. I'm still going through my tweets. Still going through the tweets. And, I got to bring up this, because we're going to be talking about things. Obviously, we're going to be talking about Christopher McQuarrie's Superman pitch, which, of course, was making the rounds. I mean, it was big time making the rounds and everything like that. But, I just saw this right here that somebody posted the screenshot because Tom Cruise thanked everyone for showing up to the movies this past Memorial Day weekend. I think it ended up being one of or the biggest Memorial Day box office weekend, which is great. I want movies to thrive at the box office. I want them to thrive. I don't care. I don't hold any grudges towards any studio, or I want movies to crash and burn. We want people to, go to the movies. So naturally, Tom Cruise posted that, hey, thank you for everyone's one for the history books and blah, blah, blah. That's what he posted right here. But we got Beku, whatever, which this guy has me blocked. And I remember he used to be in my mentions a lot. Look at what he had to say right here. Now, how about you arrange a hostile takeover DC and get rid of Gunn and let McQuarrie, guy can't even fucking type out things correctly, do his Cavill Superman movie. Anything is better than Gunn doing a Superman movie and butchering the IP. That's right, guys. Hashtag hire Tom Cruise for DC Studios. Do these guys watch any other movies? Do they care about any other movies? Is it just strictly DC? That's what I kind of wonder. I'm like, what the actual F? I'm like, what? Yes, let's have Tom. That's what Tom Cruise wants to do. Instead of doing, the Top Gun 3 or, he has 2 or 3 other projects that he's doing. Yeah. Tom, you need to do a hostile takeover at DC Studios because James Gunn is a menace and he's destroying the IP. You have to save it. Oh, holy crap. I just was like, what are we doing here, guys? It's funny. Yeah, that guy used to be in my mentions. He blocked me, good, thankfully, but I saw that. I was like, holy Lord. Hilarious. And thank you, Arkham Knight 99. Thank you for the dollar super chat. Much appreciated, helping out that pirate ship. I had to poke fun at that. And I'm going to do a little bit more talking about, naturally, that whole thing. So, all right, that's all the tweets, guys. That is all the tweets. So let's get in it. Let's get into some DCU news. We'll get to the McQuarrie stuff in a bit. But one of the big things, one of the things that was actually talked about today, that's Superman runtime. Now, obviously, there was like a Superman runtime that was being passed around not too long ago where they were claiming it was going to be like an hour and 44 minutes. Some people were claiming it was going to be 90 minutes. And, of course, naturally, they were doing that thing like the people who talk more about Superman than the people who are hyped about Superman. Again, we're in 2025, and the people that want this movie to crash and burn talk about it way more than the people who want it to be successful and are hyped about it. That's just the way it is. It's a reverse weird thing. I don't know. This universe that we live in, I don't understand it. I don't know. Who knows? Something happened, Something happened in the past few years where we're in a fucking back asswards universe where people who want a movie to not succeed talk about it 10 times more than the people who do want it to succeed. That's just the way it is. Okay, but they were passing around that, Warner Brothers stepped in, and of course they mandated James Gunn to make his movie 90 minutes or an hour and 40 minutes or something like that. Naturally, that wasn't going to happen. See, I always thought, okay, and the rumor was that it was going to be around 2 hours and 15 minutes, and then 2 hours and 20 minutes. But apparently, and I don't need to bring up anything like that. Well, I guess I can bring up something. All right, I could bring up, I'm not going to bring it up because I don't know if I should bring it up. I got it sent to me. And I'll just talk about it right here. But Vertical Entertainment, apparently, I don't know. There's basically, what is this? Czech. This is a Czech distributor who's going to be, of course, obviously we got distributors all around the world that are going to be distributing the movie. And apparently they had a sheet that said, yes, that the runtime for Superman is, in fact, 122 minutes. So essentially 2 hours long. Obviously, credits, and there's going to be probably some mid-post credits, whatever the hell, even though James Gunn was saying we're trying not to be as much as Marvel, there's still going to be Marvel vibes to it, of course. You're still going to be doing some post, mid-credit, whatever the hell, but 2 hours and 2 minutes. Now, that is 20 minutes less than Man of Steel. I meant to look up what is a runtime of Superman Returns. 2 hours and 34 minutes. Oh, wow. Man, I forgot how long that movie was. So Superman Returns was 2 hours and 34 minutes. Okay, and I know that Man of Steel is 2 hours and 23 minutes. Okay, runtime for what was the original Superman? The original Superman was 2 hours and 7 minutes. Superman 2 was 1 hour and 56 minutes. Now, naturally, when it comes to that, obviously you can look at the Donner cut. I think that was longer as well. Superman 3 was 2 hours and 5 minutes. So this is pretty interesting. They're keeping it close to the vest. Now, a lot of people are passing around that this is actually the exact same runtime as the first Guardians of the Galaxy. And it is kind of interesting because it was, I think, like the initial cut, like when they were doing test screenings and whatnot, it was going to be around 2 hours and 15, maybe 2 hours and 15 to 2 hours and 20 minutes. But I think maybe with the test screenings, which of course we hate the test screenings because it's like, test screenings can really affect a lot when it comes to the film, the overall film, because then they start worrying about the feedback and everything. But I know it's like a thing, especially with these movies, that they keep constantly doing. So they probably just shaved off some shit. Who knows what they shaved off? Maybe they're like, yeah, maybe that doesn't work. I'm not saying that there's going to be, hey, release the Gunn cut. Maybe, who knows? But maybe there will be a director's cut. That's kind of I'm kind of wondering about that myself. Is there going to be that? I mean, I'm a little disappointed because I was hoping for that sweet spot of 215, 220. I was hoping for that. And now that it's going to be just over 2 hours, I was like, nah, man. But, it's not official, but it seems to me like this is pretty legit right here, at least for right now. So, I don't know. Yeah, they were talking about like they were cutting down some of the jokes, and maybe they were going like, Jimmy, you win a little too much. Jimmy. So maybe just let's cut a little bit of this fat. You got a little bit too much fat over here, so maybe just cut it down a little bit. It probably essentially was like, I don't think it was like entirely his decision. Obviously, like Warner Brothers is always gonna be, they're still gonna be giving him notes and everything, but for the most part, he has what he wants to do. But I know, like, again, there's that loud side of the fan, those diehard Snyder fans. They want what happened to Zack to happen to James Gunn because, again, they hate James Gunn so much that they don't, all the stuff that we fought for when it came to the Snyder Cut movement, where we wanted the studios to not interfere and not do this kind of shit, they want that to happen with James Gunn because they literally have a James Gunn derangement syndrome. They want this guy, I mean, it's weird. It's weird. I'm like, wait a minute. We shouldn't want that. And the guy that you love so much wouldn't want that for James Gunn either. Just saying. But of course, they don't care. They live in their own fucking world. They hide behind their keyboards and their avatars. So whatever. But so right now, that's what it is. That's what's going on. And yeah, I'm not going to lie. A little disappointed. I was hoping for I just felt like the sweet spot was 215, 220. Give me that extra 20 minutes. I was hoping it was going to be around Man of Steel runtime. And, it seems like there is a lot going on here. So I'm kind of, does make me a little bit worried. I'm not going to lie. Makes me a little bit worried. So. And let's see. What else do we have? What else do we have from DC News? But that was like the main thing a lot of people were talking about today. But at the same time, I'm going, if it flows and it works and everything, all right, then fine, cool. But then I'm like, oh, don't tell me there's going to be like a director's cut. Is there going to be a director's cut? There's probably going to be a director's cut, right? Oh, that'd be hilarious. Oh, that would be hilarious. A Gunn cut. It's funny, too, because Fantastic Four is going to be exactly 2 hours. Any of those people going to be talking about that one? Probably not. But yeah, apparently also what was revealed today as well is Fantastic Four First Steps is going to be exactly 2 hours. But nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that. What are we talking about here? Okay, we got plenty to look at right here. We got that. Okay, so I'm just looking at some of the stuff right here. So another thing about Superman as well, it's going to get China. It's going to get China. China's going to get it. So there is going to be a China release. It's official. They announced, yes, that over this weekend, that it is going to, in fact, because you never know with China. You just never know with China. Sometimes they see something they don't like in the movie and they completely go, nope, we're not taking it. But that's not happening with Superman. Superman will get a China release. So, again, I know that, yeah, the people who wanted the crash and burn, it is just not going to crash and burn. It's not going to make $1 billion. I mean, it always has potential to make $1 billion, but it's not going to be like I don't see it being a huge flop now that it definitely has a China release. So, I don't know. So you got that. Yeah, who wants a squishy pillow of Krypto? You want a squishy pillow of Krypto? You got that right there if you want one of those. Looks comfortable. They also have Uno. They have like a Superman Uno deck that you can get. So some toys displayed right there. And we're going to talk about toys in a little minute here. Also, according to UK production, apparently the Batman 2 is going to happen. We heard that Matt Reeves was supposed to be turning in his final draft of the script this past weekend, but there hasn't been any update when it comes to that. But according to UK production, UK_production, the Batman 2 is reportedly gearing up to begin filming in London early 2026. So we still got hope with that, naturally. We got hope with that. And then, of course, we have a new banner, which I used mainly for my thumbnail. Show that cape. Show that cape, which is the best part of the freaking costume right there. So, yeah, we had a new little banner and poster, a little shot of David Cornsweet as Superman, doing a little back look, showing that cape with the S on it. Looks pretty cool. So we had that new banner only in cinemas in July with a cool little background. Let's see what else we got. Okay, and then of course we have Peacemaker. We got some Peacemaker news. Peacemaker, of course, there's going to be a lot of Peacemaker talk in the next couple of months. We got summer preview, Entertainment Tonight, Entertainment Weekly, showing them partying it up right here. And then, hey, look at that. What? There he is. That's right. Everybody was wondering, oh, who is Michael Rooker playing? He is playing a character called Red Saint Wild. I think it's Red Saint Wild. That's who he's playing. That's who he's playing. He's not playing Apache Chief or some of the other characters that we thought he was, and it's probably a good thing because he is a white dude. It probably wouldn't have been the best idea for him to play Apache Chief. That would have caused the internet to explode a little bit, and James Gunn would have tried, they would have tried to cancel these guys. But yes, that is a big ass gun because apparently, guys, Peacemaker season 2 has an Eagly subplot that has this motherfucker going after Eagly. That's right. This guy has it in for Eagly. Not sure why, but he is hunting down Eagly. That's right. The eagle, Peacemaker's pet eagle, is being chased down by Michael Rooker with ponytails and a big ass fucking gun. Yeah, like Elmer Fudd. Interesting, right? And then, yes, guys, looking at DC film news, James Gunn says Peacemaker Season 2 will include characters from Superman, which we already saw in the trailer, and from other parts of the DCU. There might even be one really, really big cameo near the end of the show. Oh, who's that big cameo? Huh? Is it Superman? Is it Batman? Is it Booster Gold? Some people are thinking Booster Gold from that's supposed to be what's his name, which I don't really like. Why am I totally blanking on his name? That's why I'm totally blanking on his name, but I don't really, yeah. So, I don't know. It's just like, who could possibly be showing up right there? And then, of course, naturally, people were going after James Gunn saying that he didn't like cameo porn, but yeah, I mean, I think he just was, in his defense, I was going, well, I think what I took it as, and I think what he was going for when it came to the whole cameo porn thing was the fact that if you just have a cameo for cameo's sake, just for people to go, but if you're going to have somebody show up in there and have it be very pivotal to the story, but then you go, well, okay, well, hopefully that's what you mean. And hopefully if we get whatever this big cameo is, it is very pivotal to the story, which it could be if it is somebody like Booster Gold and they're talking about like, pocket universes and time travel and everything like that. Then of course, yes, that's going to be very pivotal. So, yeah, so we got that. So that's what he talked about too. And then naturally, yes, when it comes to CCXP in Mexico on June 1st, which is next week, we're going to have some James Gunn and John Cena on Thunder Stage right there. So at CCXP, they're going to be showing up and doing some talking. They're also going to be showing up at San Diego Comic-Con. That's right, but San Diego Comic-Con is like a week or so after Superman comes out. They've been confirmed that DC Studios is going to be there as well. And then even James Gunn himself said that, yeah, I'm going to be mainly talking about Peacemaker. We're going to be talking about Peacemaker, but naturally he will talk about everything else too. Because he's going to get those questions, and naturally you got to promote the DCU. You got to talk about upcoming projects. You're going to be talking about Superman. You're going to be talking about a lot of things. So it's not just going to be a Peacemaker panel. There'll be plenty of conversation about the entire DCU. And then so he confirmed that as well for Entertainment Weekly. And let's see, what else did we have here? There's more collaborations. Apparently they're collaborating with Keebler. They're going to have some Superman Fudge Stripes cookies. So they are really going heavy on something heroic is coming. You got some Superman cookies right here. What's interesting though, you look at what's the designs on Superman. Look at that. You could see like the Green Lantern sign. You could see the Hawk Girl symbol on there too. I'm sure you could see probably a Superman logo on there too. But that's pretty sweet. So they are teaming up. They're doing a lot of marketing, a lot of collaborations when it comes to things. And then of course you had these little fucking chuckleheads. I mean, this is pretty smart. This is pretty smart because you gotta, okay. Yeah, the marketing doesn't always have to be like something when it comes to a product like a food, or it has to do with toys. You can also do the adult thing too, because hey, let's face it, Superman's always a good looking dude. It's a good looking guy playing Superman. And now you have a Lex Luthor that, also a good looking dude. So why not have both these actors do some marketing themselves? And yes, that's what we're getting right here. Wonderland, the Heroes issue, Nicholas and David, tailored for trouble. So there they are, sitting there, chilling, with some pants that need to be way longer. That's for damn sure. Showing off them socks. Oh, but it gets better. Look at this shot. Yeah, Liberty. Look at these sexy motherfuckers right here. Come on. That's right. Utilize these good-looking chaps right here for Wonderland. Come on. That's what you do. You have to do that. And I have something else too, because there's actually they're also doing an Omega commercial. Both of them are doing an Omega commercial. And I posted about it. Let me see. I reposted it. But they're also, obviously, watch commercials are funny because can anybody really afford an Omega or a Rolex? I mean, geez, let's face it. I mean, I love watches. This is a Seiko. This does not cost as much as a fucking Omega or a Rolex or something like that. But let's see, where is it at here? Was it posted yesterday? I don't know when it was posted. I don't even see. Oh, there it is. So yeah, I mean, they posted this, David Corn Sweat Archive posted this right here. It's weird. I don't even want to turn but like, it's a weird one. So it's just basically like, got them both in a commercial. It's very mysterious, very weird. Kind of, like, what are we doing, huh? And then we got a random shot. We got a case. We got a random shot. Why is he juggling? Why the hell is Corn Sweat juggling grapefruit, lemons, oranges, whatever that was? It's a weird little, I don't know, kind of Tarantino vibe right there, huh? A little bit of Tarantino vibe, but I'm just kind of going, okay, cool. Yeah, why not? Have something like that. Sure. You know, something for the adults, but yeah, see? See, even when Monique is saying, like, yeah, Nicholas Hoult, he's a good-looking dude. So you got to include that Lex Luthor in there. But yeah, so they're doing stuff like that, which I'm going, yeah, they're doing a lot of marketing. They're doing a lot of marketing when it comes to Superman for the adults, for the kids as well. Hey, and we got the big guy right here. Full form Metamorpho McFarlane toy. What? Look at that. That big fist. You got that big Hellboy fist. You got some big feet, and you got that hammer fucking arm right there. Woo-wee. Look at that. David and Nicholas did a video that's here on YouTube on Wonderland. Yeah, they also did that too. Oh yeah, they did this right here. They obviously when they did this for Wonderland. So yeah, there's a whole video. It's a 7-minute video. We don't have to talk. But again, we love this kind of stuff because I mean it's literally Superman and Lex Luthor. They are the two that are playing against each other in the movie, and they're playing Truth or Dare. Right here.
Give away a major plot point to the new Superman film.
No one told me. Did you know that?
No.
You didn't?
No. Good morning. I'm David Cornsweat.
I'm Nicholas Hoult.
We're here with Wonderland.
For another edition of Truth, Dare, or Farkle.
Or Farkle.
Another edition.
But they were having fun.
But for the purpose of this game, less than 500, you pick a truth. More than 500, a dare, and a Farkle is a Farkle. A Farkle is if you.
I don't know what the hell a Farkle is.
Ones, you're out of the game, no points.
Okay.
Yeah, you lose everything that you've kept.
The reason we're playing this game, I should say, is
but they have really good chemistry. That's the thing, and that's what they're trying to show right here.
Yeah.
Is the chemistry, even though they're going to be at odds with each other, with, you know, during the whole movie, of course.
That's 300.
But yeah, watch the whole thing. We're not going to watch the whole thing here. It's 7 minutes long, but it's a good little video. It just kind of, it's playful, it's fun, it's good. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, we've seen this kind of stuff. We love that shit. So, and thank you, Arkham, for the $2 super chat. David Cornsweat juggling and Nicholas Hoult X high, right? Oh man. So yeah, the marketing is like really kicked into gear when it comes to Superman. That's for goddamn sure. Jesus. But I will say this, though. I will say this, and I'm going to push back on Jimmy Guns. Jimmy Guns, you don't need to respond. You're back to responding to people. You're getting a little upset, and you shouldn't be responding to people because it's just not a good look overall. I mean, I get it. It could be frustrating, and I totally understand. I could totally understand because, like, let's face it, there's a lot of pressure riding on him. And so when you see stuff and when people start questioning some of the things, and this has to do with, of course, having an actor playing multiple roles in the DCU. Now, James Gunn expressed that, hey, there's not going to be one actor that's going to play multiple roles live action. Obviously, he did state that, yes, voice acting is a different story because naturally his brother, Rooker, and what's his name, too, Tudyk, Alan Tudyk, are playing multiple voice roles. And so somebody, of course, had to respond, and then he had to respond, which I go, you didn't have to respond, but he did. So somebody asked, not casting one actor to play multiple characters, huh? You said not happening, and lie detector shows that. I said, very clearly, actors will generally only be playing one character on screen, and said, in the same response, that for voice actors, it's not the same. Sean, Alan Tudyk, Maria Bakalova, Steve Agee, etc. all play multiple roles in Creature Commandos. That doesn't mean they play different characters on screen. So, what's the need you have and a handful of others to desperately need to believe I'm lying, that you seem so purposely ignore certain parts of what I said? Seems like it's getting to Jimmy Guns a little bit, but sometimes, man, maybe, wifey should have been like, no, don't post. Just put it down. Concentrate on your work. Concentrate on your work. Because naturally, that response now adds to it. It does add to it. Like, I totally understand his frustration. I do. I understand his frustration. It can be frustrating, especially when you want to take a break, you're looking online, and you're getting blasted by all sorts of fans. Not fans, but, people. So I get it, but at the same time, like, yeah, maybe it's like one of those that should have stayed in the inbox. I don't know. That's the way I look at it. I'm like, maybe pump the brakes a little bit, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I get what he's saying, because I've even had people question me in my mentions, go like, hey, wasn't Sean Gunn Calendar Man in the Suicide Squad? I'm like, yeah, but I don't think Calendar Man's ever coming back, and that was basically DCEU. It's DCU. I don't think Sean Gunn's going to play, I guess if they were to do a live action Weasel again, he would still do the mocap for that. I don't know. I don't know all that. I'm not really taking it all that seriously, but hey, what could he do? But I was just like, yeah, maybe that should have just stayed. Should have stayed in one spot. Should have just stayed there. But, like I said, I'm not going to tell Jimmy Guns what to do. All right. Now let's get to, let's see. Oh, yeah, I wanted to get to this too. Okay. So let's get, like I said, a lot to talk about when it comes to this. Where is it at? Oh, yeah, we had this too. Hey, we got some lanterns. We got some lanterns crumbs. You want some lanterns crumbs before we start diving into more craziness when it comes to Superman? Look at that. There's Aaron Pierre right there. Huh? There's Aaron Pierre on the screen, about to shoot a scene. This comes from Lanterns Podcast right there. So, little lanterns crumbs. I don't mind me some lanterns crumbs. Superman toys. Oh boy. Man, this makes me want to, I wish I had a drink poured, because I'd be taking a sip of it right now going, oh boy, my God. So over the weekend, there's a whole thing about Superman toys that was happening. And I couldn't believe it, because I'm just kind of going, man, we're 45 days out, I think, a month and a half out from Superman. So, like I said, the people who are pushing back against this movie, they are ramping up. So I saw this image, and especially when I was scrolling through the For You page, I saw this image right here. And I think, and I didn't know who originally posted it. I was just seeing this image everywhere. And I went, what the fuck? Does everybody shop at the same store? Like, why are people are literally recycling this image right here? And here's the image. There's an image right there that's showing one Superman action figure on the shelf. Obviously, if you look closely on the other tags, that is also Superman toys. And, they're empty. They're gone. So there's just one, or maybe there's one behind it. There might be two there. I don't know. But this was being passed around. By numerous people that were almost like basically claiming that they took the picture. And I kind of went like, well, wait a minute. That's just the same picture over and over again. Now, I think the original person who posted that was, I think, goes by, and I follow them, I think it's Krypton Podcast. Somebody let me know that they were possibly the ones that posted that first. And I would not think that they would actually, because naturally, yes, somebody could easily go to the store and just, pull the other toys off, put them down right there, take a quick picture, and then put everything back up. You could totally deceive people. Nowadays, you could easily deceive people by doing that. I don't think that they would actually do that. Doesn't seem like that just by going by them and seeing their content stuff. This doesn't seem like they would actually do something like that. But again, I was seeing other people passing it around as if it was them taking a picture right there. But that, of course, triggered the other side to be like, well, shit. Now I'm going to go to my local store and I'm going to take pictures to prove that this is a lie. And sure enough, guys did that. Grown adults did that. They went to their stores to report on toys and take pictures. Yes, that happened. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that was actually happening. And somebody crawled up in my mentions who took some of those pictures too. And I'm sure you guys know who this guy is. Mr. Aaron Fisher. He finally crawled up in my mentions. Try not to associate or even talk to that guy. I mean, I've seen like his clips on Twitter and stuff like that. And I can never get through an entire clip because, I mean, it's nails on a chalkboard. The guy seems very miserable. I don't know. Like, it's very crazy. But he got Very triggered by that. And then he, of course, crawled up in my mentions and was trying to prove me wrong. And he was like, hey, I'm trying to expose the lies. The lies. It's fucking toys. It's toys. What are we doing here? Grown adults? Going to toy sections? Okay, so what he and maybe some of the other people are trying to prove that the toys aren't flying off the shelves, right? So let me help these guys out. The only way that you can actually, okay, this is so ridiculous. I almost can't believe I'm actually talking about this. So the initial person who took this picture, I'm going to trust that they were not deceiving. I'm going to trust that they were not deceiving. They took the picture and they said, hey, this is a good sign. We're excited. We're excited for Superman, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's the one distinct difference is the person who took that picture is excited and is looking at it as, oh, people are excited for Superman. I love this. And they're happy. Now you got these other assholes that are not happy, they're miserable, and they want to kill everybody's fun. That's the difference. Like, yeah, it's ridiculous that anybody's taking pictures of any toy sections at all. But at least over here, these people, they're happy. They are happy people and excited and hyped. These people over here are trying to prove some kind of conspiracy. And I'm just kind of going like, okay, so if you're going to go and you're like, you know what? I think this person is lying. I'm going to go to my local store and I'm going to prove that it's wrong. That's not how it works. What you need to do, and I'm actually going to try do this. It could be a good video section for what's his name. If you wanted to do it like this, try to get the people, like your followers, your fans, you know, the people who really want to show that Superman toys aren't selling. Everybody, all around the country, even the world, get as many people to go out to their local stores and take pictures. And then you have to go sift through them all and see what happens and see if it's actually true. Because you just doing one store, your local store, doesn't prove shit. You have to get a bunch. You'd have to get a bunch. And then after that, nobody's going to actually give a shit. Oh, sorry. I'm just like, I can't believe that this is where this is going. You know, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to get toys. You know, I mean, nowadays, yes, the children aren't getting the toys. It's mainly the adults. The adults are the collectors now, which is absolutely true. And I think he even hit me on that too. It's like, yeah, that's absolutely true. That's who is actually going to be getting the toys. And that's fine. I don't really want to. I'll get the McFarlanes. The McFarlanes. That's the toy. That's the toys or the figures I'm getting. I'm not going to get these little toys. That's not me. That's not the toys that I want. I want the McFarlanes. But it's just so funny because I was like, why is this now a thing? This is actually a thing now that we're measuring the potential success of a Superman movie by taking picture of toy sections. This is where we've gotten, folks. All right. And some people just reported that, yeah, they don't have Superman toys yet. So I'm like, okay, so there's a lot of places that don't even have the Superman toys delivered yet, which they're probably going to wait till like a month out. I don't know. They're about to get there. I don't know. This is where we're at, though. Holy Lord. But I know people were sharing screenshots showing like Walmart, Target, saying they're out of stock when it comes to McFarlane's and other toys. I don't know. It's just so funny. But again, what did I say already? I'm like, yeah, I think it's ridiculous that we're trying to measure how successful this movie is going to be by toys. But at the same time, you know, I like people that are excited and happy and hyped for a new Superman. That are just doing that. They're not trying to do anything, and they're not trying to do the shady shit by saying, oh, what Snyder did fucking sucked and blah, blah, blah. They're just excited. And then you got these fuckers over here that just want to kill anytime they see it, they want to fucking, no, that is not it, no. You know, it's all lies, lies, lies. And I'm like, good freaking. I don't know. I don't know. If you're hyped for something, I don't know. Why do you want to kill it? Just because you're miserable doesn't mean that everybody else needs to be miserable. It's just weird. Anyways, all right. So Toys. That was a thing. That was an absolute thing. Ugh. Keep buying the toys, though. Keep buying the toys. I mean, if you want to buy the toys, go buy the toys. Buy the McFarlanes. Like I said, McFarlanes are my bag. I don't care about like toys that are just like, regular little action figures with like kung fu fucking chop, whatever the hell. I don't need those, but I'll get the McFarlanes. The McFarlanes are what I get, It's just very, very crazy. It's just very freaking crazy. All right.
The first 5.
Okay. Now let's talk about Christopher McQuarrie. That's right. Christopher McQuarrie's been talking a lot, obviously promoting Superman. Well, I mean, he's kind of like a Superman. But Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. And I love it when Josh Horowitz gets these interviews because Josh Horowitz, he's a big nerd like us. He asks the questions that we want to hear. And naturally, Josh Horowitz was like, hey, you pitched a Superman movie. Obviously, working on Fallout with Henry Cavill, he's mentioned before that he did have a Superman pitch. He wrote a treatment. I think he essentially wrote a script. And him and Cavill bounced ideas back and forth. And they really wanted to make a Superman movie, a Man of Steel sequel, essentially, with Cavill. And we never, obviously it got turned down. Obviously, we know where we're at right now. And so it was just kind of one of those things like, oh, okay, Christopher McQuarrie, what was this Superman all about? Well, here's what he had to say right here.
The first 5 minutes of my Superman movie, which was imagine you remember Pixar's Up?
Sure.
A sequence with no dialogue that covered that character's.
Yeah.
Okay. The first 5 minutes of the movie was a setup after which you knew exactly what made Superman tick, and exactly what Superman was most afraid of, and why Superman made the choices that he made. And it would have been epic. It would have been epic. In 5 minutes, the scale of the movie would have been absolutely extraordinary. And the other thing, and I hope that anybody who watches this movie, that enjoys the end of this movie walking away, that's the feeling I would want you to walk away from, because that's really what Superman is about. It's about hope, and it's about it being inspiring, and it's and the joy that character created. I don't think you need to live in the shadow of Donner's Superman.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to live in the shadow of John Williams' score. But you do need to recognize that movie captured better than any other, with respect to everyone that has followed. It captured better than any other the heart of that character.
Yeah.
The problem with Superman is that when they constantly are trying to create bigger and bigger and bigger obstacles for
like lifting up an island
for
made of Krypton,
for a character with infinite power. Donner understood. And all the best sequences in
Stop
Superman.
It, let it go,
understand
McQuarrie. Stop
that
talking
Superman's
about Donner.
greatest obstacle is himself. Followed potentially by Green Lantern.
He said Green Lantern. I love it. I actually saw like one of these, one of the, very loud accounts on Twitter post. They posted that, but because obviously what he said right there, don't live in the shadow of Donner Superman, don't live in the shadow of John Williams, which is great. But then all of a sudden he goes into praising that and saying what Donner understood about Superman. Of course, they cut it off right before that conveniently because, yes, that ruins the narrative of the fact that no matter what, doesn't matter what you say, it's just going to be the case. Donner Superman is just going to be the standard. Everybody's going to look at it as the standard. Yes, there are people that go way too overboard and just want that, want that, want that. And I don't like that either, but I will always not say like, oh yeah, I'm not one of those guys like, get over it, move on from Donner Superman. You know, I'm not going to do that. Just like I'm not going to say, get over it, move on from Cavill's Superman or Snyder's Superman. I'm not going to do that either. But at the same time, it's just like Donner is just no matter what. Even Zack took some things from that too. Watch the behind the scenes featurettes of Man of Steel. He talks about Donner Superman in there, okay? No matter what, it's always going to be talked about. Anything Superman is going to be talked, because that was the first fucking movie that you believed a man could fly. It was on the goddamn poster. That was the selling point. So no matter what, that's always going to be the case. And what's funny about this, so obviously he talked about Green Lantern, right? So Green Lantern was going to be a player in this Superman movie, in this Henry Cavill Superman movie. What I found funny when I was like posting about it, because I was like, well, if you're going to have Hal Jordan, how many times have people thought Tom Cruise could be a Hal Jordan? And this is Christopher McQuarrie, who seems to be attached at the hip to Mr. Tom Cruise, because we're going to be talking more about this. They seem to be attached to the hip, so I'm just kind of going, so if this would have went through, would Tom Cruise have been like a Hal Jordan Green Lantern? And when I was seeing, well, what's funny, the funniest thing I was seeing about this when it came to all this, when I see like the people, of course, who are hating everything that's happening right now and going like, you know, seeing this, hearing this, we were robbed, and I'm going, you would have hated this too. Shut up. Are you kidding me? Don't do this, you. Oh, okay. So you're thinking that this was just going to be like a direct sequel to to what, Zack Snyder's Justice League? What, you realize this was pitched before the Snyder Cut came out. First off, this was pitched before the Snyder Cut came out. I actually saw people going, oh man, he was going to have, you know, Henry Cavill Superman and Green Lantern. They posted, you know, Cavill and Wayne T. Carr. I'm going, it wouldn't have been Wayne T. We didn't even know it was Wayne T. Carr that was in that scene. You realize that, right? You guys got to realize timelines here. I get it. You guys think the Snyder Cut came out like a year and a half ago, and everything's still fresh. No, again, the Justice League was shot 9 years ago. Oh, we got to remember that. But of course, timelines just don't. You know, it's just a bubble. It's weird. But I was just kind of going like, okay, so we were robbed of a Henry Cavill Superman sequel, and I just kind of go like, I wonder how much, since this was during the time, this pitch happened after Zack was gone, while the DCEU had not really any footing. They didn't know what they wanted to do. We still had Justice League. Would it have come off from Justice League? Because this is before the Snyder Cut came out. Would it have come before that? Would have been attached to that? Would there have been references what happened in Justice League? Okay, I mean, obviously there would have most likely been references to Man of Steel, and I'm kind of wondering what references to Batman vs. Superman as well. I wonder about those details when it came to his script. How much was he playing with when it came to already things established in the DCEU, or was he just doing a straight-up standalone movie? Then you bring up the Green Lantern thing, which I thought we wanted just a standard Superman sequel. Wait, I thought we just want a standard. I just want a standard Superman. Well, you want Green Lantern now? Oh wait, and you're all about Tom Cruise being Hal Jordan? You realize they would have marketed a Cavill Superman sequel as a Tom Cruise Green Lantern sequel, or Green Lantern movie featuring Henry Cavill Superman? If Tom Cruise would have been Green Lantern, which I don't think it would have just been some kind of cameo, he would have been probably a pivotal, character in it. Yeah, it still would have been a Superman movie, as he was explaining the first 5 minutes. But I'm just kind of going like, if Tom Cruise would have ended up being that, they would have marketed the movie as Tom Cruise, like top billing, because that's just the way it is. Because Tom Cruise is the more popular actor. So that would have not been good for Cavill Superman. I never liked the idea of Tom Cruise of actually being Hal Jordan. I wouldn't have hated it if it would have happened, but anytime that was brought up, I was like, nah, I don't want Tom Cruise to be Green Lantern. I don't want him to be Hal Jordan. I would not have liked that. I would not like that, especially if this would have happened and that was actually going to be the case. It would have just totally sidelined Henry Cavill Superman. Am I the only one seeing that? They would have sidelined them. That's not how I would have wanted a Henry Cavill Superman sequel. And yes, it would have been. And If you don't believe me, just look at Spider-Man Homecoming. That was a Spider-Man movie. How did they market that Spider-Man movie? Spider-Man, one of the most popular characters ever, but they marketed heavily with Tony Stark, with Robert Downey Jr. That would have been the same shit here. Would have been the same shit if Tom Cruise was Hal Jordan. Same shit. He would have been probably in it just as much as like Robert Downey Jr. was in Spider-Man Homecoming, but they would have had him full blast in the marketing. Full blast. My God, man. It's just like, yeah, that's what I just like when I was seeing this stuff. I'm like, you guys really aren't thinking this, but you know what it is, guys? You know what it is? It's not James Gunn. It's James Gunn derangement syndrome. That's what it is. These people hate James Gunn so much that anything else, fucking Ball or fucking Paul W.S. Anderson could be talking about a Superman pitch that they gave. You know, hacky fucking filmmakers could have pitched it, and some of these people have been like, oh man, that would have been great. Jeez, why couldn't we have that? Because they hate James Gunn so much, and that's what's so weird. And that's what it just comes down to. They just hate him so much. They would have hated this. They would have absolutely hated this because there's no way that Christian McQuarrie was going to keep that tone. We know this because even Henry Cavill himself said that he was hoping to take the character into a brighter level. And that's what actually Zack wanted too, to be honest. He was like, hey, I want to tell my story, but if you do anything else, fine, go for it. Zack's one of those guys that goes, let the filmmaker tell their story. What? That's crazy. Crazy concept, I know. But yeah, it wouldn't have been in the fucking, it would have been a lighter tone. There would have been probably elements of Dawn or Superman in there. You better believe it. And they would have hated it, just like these guys hated when Cavill showed up in the Black Adam cameo. Same thing. But of course, now they'll just say like, oh man, we were robbed. Bullshit. You would have fucking hated this too, you hypocrite. You hypocrite. It's just funny. Just funny when you see all that. Okay. I think that rant over. Rant over. Just like some of them have become Matt Reeves fans, but I remember getting a lot of heat for champion Matt Reeves Batman. But now that we're like in this weird spot when it comes to Matt Reeves and DCU, man, all of a sudden these guys became Matt Reeves fans. Anything to go up against James Gunn, man. Anything to go up against Gunn. You know? That's why, you know, like I said, when I had that theory, because, you know, there was the conspiracy theory that these guys came up with was that James Gunn is a Marvel Studios plant, and he's coming over to DC Studios to turn it into Marvel Studios and drive DC fans to be MCU fans. And now all these motherfuckers are championing Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four and hope Fantastic Four is the biggest movie of the year. So I guess James Gunn succeeded in his fucking double agent fucking role that you guys said he is. Do you guys listen to yourselves? That's what I just go like, do you guys listen to yourselves? All right, well, let's move over to the Marvel Studios. Let's move over to Marvel Studios. I wanted to talk about this. I mean, this is a rumor, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. But, you know, Nexus Point News, I trust them more than Scoopers. A little bit more than Scoopers. I think, you know, they're a little bit more level-headed. I follow a couple of these guys from Nexus Point Studios. And, yeah, they're talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day, which, you know, we keep on getting so many different, I don't know. We keep on hearing things. Is it going to be a grounded story like in New York? Is it going to be a multiverse story again? We don't really know. We don't really know what's going on. It just seems like everything's up in the air. But this is the latest right here, and I'm sure you guys heard it. Exclusive! Mark Ruffalo is set to return as Bruce Banner in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Huh? Sony and Marvel Studios once again continue the trend of featuring an Avenger in their Spider-Man franchise. Nexus Point News can exclusively report that Mark Ruffalo is set to reprise his role as Bruce Banner in Spider-Man Brand New Day. It is currently unknown what role Banner will play in the story or whether he'll be portraying his alternate green persona. NPN can confirm Bruce Banner's appearance will be much larger than a cameo, and Ruffalo will have a substantial role in the film. Spider-Man Brand New Day will be Ruffalo's 10th appearance in the mainline Marvel Cinematic Universe. Blah, 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 blah. Is he going to be a mentor? Can Peter just be his own man? That's what a lot of people are assuming from this, that he's going to be like the new mentor. You know, it went from Tony to Doctor Strange to Steven to Bruce. It's like this kid. I mean, they could play on the fact that, you know, because he lost Uncle Ben, he didn't have his own dad, so he latches onto these father figures. I guess you could play that into it. But I'm just kind of going, I think at the end of No Way Home, you're just like, oh yeah, he's finally out on his own. He's going to be his own dude. Oh, I don't know. All I hope for, what I hope for with this is just like, okay, did the multiverse cause some crazy effect where we no longer have Professor Hulk? Because I think Professor Hulk is lame. I want the two distinct versions again. I want Bruce Banner, and I want him controlling his rage, but then when he can't control it, he loses his shit. I think a lot of us just want the old Hulk back. We don't want Professor Hulk, you know? Time travel. We don't want that Hulk anymore. Who's taking pictures with kids and doing the dap. We don't want that anymore. At least I don't. I want to go back to the Rage Monster. I want the Rage Monster Hulk. I don't want Professor Hulk. Ugh. So yeah, there's that. So that's the Spider-Man rumor right there. Of course, there's like some Avengers. There's some Avengers rumors too, but not really much. I mean, what did we get from Avengers Doomsday? Since we're talking MCU, we got some Avengers Doomsday stuff. I mean, people taking pictures together. It wasn't really much. I don't think that's real. Somebody said that they changed the logo, but I think that person is full of shit. Just a faker. Yeah, I mean, people playing golf together, all this stuff. There really isn't like much. Really isn't much. But yeah, I mean, there's just rumors. There was this picture right here that they showed of them shooting, and we got, what's his name, Winston Duke, I think, is standing right there. So that was like pretty much one of the only things that we've gotten when it comes to breadcrumbs, cookie crumbs, whatever you want to call it, crumbs. When it comes to Avengers, you know, there's a lot of rumored stuff, but that's pretty much it. But yeah, but the spy, you know what, I don't mind it. I hope it's not another mentor thing. But if you're gonna do that, bring back the Rage Monster. Bring back the Rage Monster. Please bring him back. No Professor Hulk this time. All right, the box office. Yes, the box office set records this weekend for Memorial Day, which is great. Obviously, I don't know, people were calling it Mission Stitch or Mission Impossible Stitch. I don't know. Lilo Impossible. I don't know. There was not, I guess you could, they were trying to come up with like certain names, but we had a great box office over the weekend, record breaking, which is good. People went out to the movie theater. Naturally, most people were going to be taking the family out to go see Lilo and Stitch. Like I said, this movie is going to be huge. It's probably going to be the biggest movie of the year. That's my guess. And you know, if you think about it too, you look at like, if you look at everything, you know, top 10, I mean, besides Minecraft movie, which could be a children's movie, but I would say that's more, you know, that's more teenager. That's not super young, but it is still young. There's really, I mean, yeah, this is a family movie, and you look at all the rest, you're like, none of these other movies are family movies. So even Thunderbolt's not really a family movie. So Lilo and Stitch made $146 million over the weekend domestic, and then worldwide it made $361 million. At this point, I don't know how updated these numbers are, but we got to remember it was a 3-day weekend. At this point, I mean, tomorrow, I actually would not be surprised if this is already over $400 million. So in like 4 or 5 days, this movie has like made more money than everything that's come out this year pretty much, except for Minecraft. So it's sitting high. This thing's going to make a shit ton, which is good. And then, of course, we got Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. It made $206 million, $79 million domestic. This is actually the highest grossing of the entire franchise. So even with the mixed reviews, you know, I had my gripes about it, but I still enjoyed it. I still really liked it. I just had some gripes because I'm a diehard Mission Impossible fan, and just the way that they try to wrap things up, I was kind of disappointed. But what can you do? But yeah, so you had that. And then, of course, you had The Last Rodeo, one of those Angel Studios movies. My dad actually saw this. He said it was good. But, you know, it's one of those more spiritual, more, you know, Angel Studios, I guess you could say, is considered the conservative studios. But, you know, they have an audience. They do. But it made 6.9. Not sure what that budget is. But that also came out. And, yeah. And then, of course, Final Destination Bloodlines is still doing pretty good. For Final Destination, $186.8 million right there. Not sure what that budget is, but I assume that it's not that much. Thunderbolts still is struggling. I know everybody was making it seem like this movie was like, oh my God, this movie is making a... No, it's 357. It's not even going to make Captain America money. This movie made 180, and the rule is times it by 2.5 by 3. And yeah, it's not quite the success that people are making out to be. I don't know. I know. There's you know, those real DC fans are trying to make it be a success because now they're big time MCU fans because James Gunn turned them into MCU fans because he's a Marvel Studios plant. But yeah, and then of course Sinners still kicking ass to $338.9 million. And Sinners will be, apparently it's going to be available for digital download in the next couple of weeks. And then of course the Blu-ray is going to be coming out. But it's finally like settling down. But that movie's a big time profitable success. And it's an original movie, which is great. So you love to see it. And now let's go back to Christopher McQuarrie. When it comes to Tom Cruise movies, 2 particular movies, because obviously McQuarrie's been talking about a lot of stuff. We already talked about the fact that, yes, he did have that Superman pitch, and he had an idea, and a pretty good idea, which, yes, but, you know, the Green Lantern thing, I'm kind of like, it was a little up in the air on that. But we have a couple of things, too, where... when it comes to Christopher McQuarrie and Tom Cruise, because like I said, they're pretty much attached at the hip now. They are just constantly always going to be working together. I don't know if Christopher McQuarrie is ever going to not work with Tom Cruise, but doesn't sound like it when it comes to at least 2 projects right here. Probably more than 2 projects, but the first one, of course, is Top Gun 3. Christopher McQuarrie says the plot of Top Gun 3 is already in the bag. It wasn't hard. Top Gun 3 may be closer to release than you think. Obviously, this is the same podcast as Josh Horowitz, Happy, Sad, Confused. When asked if Top Gun 3 was harder to crack than Top Gun Maverick, McQuarrie said, no, it's already in the bag. So they already have the story. It wasn't hard. I thought it would be. And that's a good place to go from as you walk into the room going, come on, what are we going to do? And Aaron Kruger pitched something, and I went, actually... And we had one conversation about it, and the framework is there. So no, it's not hard to crack. The truth of the matter is none of these are hard to crack. As you start to execute it, and as you start to interrogate it, as you start to think why these movies are made the way they are, it's not the action, it's not even the level of intensity of or the scope and scale of the action or the engineering around the action. It's none of those things. It's the emotion. This isn't the first time that Top Gun 3 equalized, talking about that. Yeah, we're thinking of talking about many different stories and what could we do and possible and blah, blah, blah. It took 35 years. It's not going to take that long. That's for damn sure. And then that's not it, guys. Oh, yeah. What about a Tropic Thunder spinoff that we heard about Les Grossman, Tom Cruise's character? Mission Impossible director Christopher McQuarrie says Tom Cruise is very serious about making a Les Grossman movie. It ultimately comes down to what that character is. I don't know if this actually is going to work. It seems like this character would only really work not as a main character. I don't know if it actually could work as a main character. I don't know. Recent appearance, of course, same podcast. The conversations we've had about Les Grossman are so fucking funny. Cruz and I are talking about it. We're having very serious conversations about it and how best to do it. It ultimately comes down to what that character is. In Tropic Thunder, blah, 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 says this, Final Reckoning. We don't even think about the structure. We play with scenes. Just to be sitting at at the breakfast table, not talking about the movie we're making for a minute, is such decompression, and just rifling with Tom playing Les Grossman at the table. It was one of the real joys of making this movie. It was all the stuff we were doing, planning the future while slugging out the present. So, I just don't know. I mean, like, can a Les Grossman movie, him being the central character, can that actually work? I mean, it worked very well as him not being. He was kind of like, you know, he was partially the antagonist, if you think about it. So I'm like, I don't know. I do want to see it because I would love to see Tom Cruise in that getup again, doing his thing, doing the dances and stuff. But then I started kind of thinking, I'm like, can that be an entire movie? And I'm sure, like I said, they might crack it too, but it seems like right now they're just kind of like, they're just bouncing around ideas. They're bouncing around ideas. But we'll see. We'll see if that happens. But maybe, I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be, I'm just a little hesitant now. I wasn't at first, but now I am a little hesitant. But I'm sure those conversations were fun. Very fun. Fun. All right. Let's go ahead and see what you guys are saying over here on the tweets. The tweets. That's not it. Character isn't a main character material. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about, Axel. That's where I started going, maybe it won't work. I was all about it when they first were talking about it, but now I'm kind of going, I don't know. I don't know if that's actually going to work. Who knows? I don't know if that's going to work, but... All right, what do we got here? Seems like most things are good. All right. Let's see what you guys are saying over here on the tweeters. Mr. Nobody. Hey, Dave, is season 2 of Peacemaker going to be the last one? I like the character, and if it's the end of the show, that's fine, but I want more in the future. Well, I think Gunn has actually teased that there actually might be a third season, to be honest. But I guess it just depends on how this one performs. Do you think that James Gunn will use the Flashpoint film to rework the new DCU? I was kind of wondering about that. I think we're all kind of wondering about that, but I don't know. Maybe he would not want to talk about that since it did not do well. I don't know. Devin Wooter. Hey, Dave, I really like Mission Impossible 8. What's your prediction for the box office for Mission Impossible 8? Do you think it's going to... Nah, it's not going to make a... Nah, it will not make $1 billion. It could make $500 million. I think it has a potential to make $500 million for sure, but I can't believe people are upset about the Superman runtime and the rating. I swear. Oh, yeah. What, the rating's PG-13? Is it? Yeah, the rating for Superman is PG-13. Also, I don't know why. I mean, the people that keep on telling me that James Gunn is making a child's cartoon movie kind of thing, anytime I hear that, I'm like, have you seen any other James Gunn movies? I mean, I don't know what the hell. Seems like you're a little bit uptight about, about his humor. I mean, yes, I get it. Sometimes some of the movies he's done has a little too much dick and fart jokes, but sometimes it's fine. Yeah, it might be they could cut out some of the jokes. I'm not all about the jokes because sometimes it could break the tension of the scene. But at the same time, I'm like, that's not for fucking 6 and 7 year olds. Darkness Under the Wind. Dave, if Gunn doesn't reveal the rest of Chapter 1 of the DCU at San Diego Comic-Con, does that mean he's waiting to reveal it? Maybe parts of or all Chapter 2 sometime after Peacemaker Season 2 is finished, since after that's not just for big projects like that, but all year. Yeah, I mean, it seems like right now the whole focus is just Peacemaker and Superman this year. I don't know. Like, it seems like, yeah, it'd be a perfect spot to do it. And maybe he has something up his sleeve, which he should at San Diego Comic-Con. Is maybe I think the biggest thing is the fact that they want to see how Superman does at the box office. And sadly, Comic-Con's like a week is like a week after Superman comes out, so they're not going to be able to probably gauge that quite yet. Unless it has just like a crazy opening, then they might be like, oh shit, let's announce the sequel. Let's announce this. Let's announce that. I don't know. So Cooper Knox, if the Hulk winds up being in Spider-Man 4, I do hope that it's Savage Hulk and not Smart Hulk. Amen. And then Dylan G, yeah, we talked about this exchange with Corn Sweat and Haltz. And yes, Dylan, I also talked about the... Oh yeah, actually I did talk about this. This is the countdown. The countdown for IMAX, which I think is really cool. I really like this right here. It's old school. There you go. You got Michael Giacchino's fucking score right there. Love it. And then we got Jamon right here. Reminder to everyone that Christopher McQuarrie actually pitched this to the old regime in 2017, 2018. Yes, before James got the job. Henry and Chris wanted to pitch an idea for Man of Steel 2, but Warner Media rejected, not Warner. Say that louder to the folks in the back, Jamon. Seriously. I've seen people go like, oh yeah, they fucking pass on this for Gunn. I'm like, no. Again, these guys don't know timelines. They think that everything happened in the last 2 to 3 years. They think that Zack Snyder's Justice League was filmed 3 years ago. They think that everything is still fresh. God damn, that's what's so funny. It's like, yeah, the pitch was around that time. It was around Mission Impossible Fallout time. And yeah, it's like this wasn't a pitch that happened in 2022. This wasn't a pitch that happened then. This was a pitch that happened it happened 7 years ago, something like that. And that's what's so funny about it. And that's why people were like, oh, and I just go, do you not know? And then I'm like, and then again, then I have questions again of like, okay, how does this attach to what came before? I mean, obviously, Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman have to be a thing. So was there going to be references? I mean, obviously, Man of Steel, easy to reference because that was just flat out just a Superman origin story. So naturally, you could easily take from that. But would he have taken things from Batman vs Superman, like Superman dying? That's a question right there. Just kind of came to me. So answer me this. This is what I want to know. Another detail just kind of occurred to me right now. Because it is a question, and I wish I would have asked Zack this question when he came on the stream any one of those times. What was the plan to bring Clark Kent back from the dead? That's what I kind of wondered. Because we saw in Batman vs Superman, we saw the obituary for Clark Kent in the paper, in the Daily Planet. But then at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, we see him do the Clark Kent thing, the shirt pull, shirt rip. But it's just like, okay, so how... I mean, obviously, I don't think that was actually a scene that Zack wanted to put in there. I'm pretty sure that that was a Jeff Johns and a studio thing where they wanted to have that scene. I don't think Zack wanted that scene. I think he would, but then he was like, he embraced it because yes, it is the iconic, take off the glasses and do the shirt rip. But I'm pretty damn sure that Zack actually initially did not want that scene. But I'm like kind of wondering what was the explanation of Clark coming back? That's what I kind of wonder. And so if that wasn't actually explained in anything prior, obviously post BVS, did Christopher McQuarrie have an explanation for that? Or were they just going to ignore that he died completely? Again, these are the questions. These are the questions that I kind of wonder. These are little details. And I guarantee the answers that I'm asking when it comes to all this, these diehard fucking Snyder fans that are like going crazy and saying we were robbed, they would hate every fucking answer. They would. They would hate it. Amnesia, woke up from a coma. See, I could totally accept that. It could be something like that. Like some rubble fell on him and he was in the hospital and You know, he didn't know who he was for like 4 months. I don't know. It could be anything like that. It could be something. And then obviously Lois could help him. Lois could help him because she already obviously knows who he is. His mom could help. People could help. I don't know. It was just that, you know, like I said, just questions I have. Like, yeah, I would totally have been down for Christopher McQuarrie, Superman, Man of Steel follow-up with Cavill. When we first heard about it, we first heard that he pitched that, I thought, oh, that would have been perfect because I think McQuarrie is an excellent filmmaker. What he's done with the Mission Impossible franchise is phenomenal. I do not like the fact that there was a possibility of a Green Lantern that could have been Tom Cruise because I think that would have outshined Cavill's Superman, and I don't think that would have been necessary. But yeah, so that's just me right there. Anyways, I knew this was going to be a long one. Woo! Long show today. Thank you guys for showing up. Hit that like, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Do all the things. Like I said, we'll play it by ear. We'll play it by ear if something happens tomorrow, like if there's some good movie news to talk about. Like right now, the only thing I would be talking about is Karate Kid Legends reviews. Other than that, I don't really have anything, other topics. But if there's something that shows up enough to warrant a stream, then I will stream tomorrow. But we'll play it by ear. I'll let you guys know. But this might be the only Film Junkie Live we have this week. But yeah, so possibly tomorrow. We'll see you guys. But thank you guys, of course, for joining. Hit that like, thumbs up. Subscribe, become a member. We haven't done a members only stream in a bit, so if we do have a stream tomorrow, we'll do a members only stream after that. And of course, we got the Patreon. I'll be posting my post show on Patreon right after this. So thank you, everybody. And hopefully, we can actually do a Patreon members stream. So if anybody who's supporting the channel wants to be a part of that, yeah, you can join. You can join in on the panel discussion. I think I'm not doing anything this Saturday, so we might be able to do that. Finally. All right, guys. Love ya. You have a good rest of your night. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. We'll see. And I'll talk to you guys later.